Just going to put some incense on. I hope we're well. I hope we're doing okay. I've just popped on a live. Got a relatively chilled evening. Been to work today and came home, had some tea, just walked the dogs, and thought, you know what? Let's go on. Let's go on the YouTube and have a bit of a natter and see who pops on, see who wants to come and chat. Come and have a chat. I've just made a post today, which is going to go out, I think it's tomorrow I've scheduled it for, on my Facebook and Instagram accounts. And it's about Zen. It's about being Zen. What is Zen? And what is being Zen? You know, and I think a lot of maybe people think of Zen as being, hey Howard, being kind of like chilled and relaxed, and maybe, you know, which it is an aspect of in some sense of the term. But in the post that I've made, I went into a little bit more detail about this and about what I feel being more Zen-like is. And for me, it's developing a way of being. It's developing a mindset and an outlook, and it's kind of like a rewiring of where you may be or may have been, and you're becoming more inner aware, more aware of what you actually are. You know, this spiritual form or this spiritual energy that we are within form, and we only really find that through deep meditation practices, through mindfulness, and bringing mindfulness into everyday life, and doing things in a mindful manner, rather than just doing things for the sake of doing them, being more mindful in the way that we're doing. And, you know, that can maybe, for some people, it might seem a little bit abstract. So I thought, maybe trying to explain that a little bit. So this abstract context of what it is, or what I feel it is anyway. Let me just get rid of my tea bag because my tea's just been brewing. So trying to find this inner awareness, this inner aspect of ourselves that we kind of like, we do eventually come to discover it in different layers of awareness on our journey. And again, through practices, through the mindfulness techniques, through the meditations, through the mantras, through whatever you use in your everyday life to bring you to that harmonized place of awareness, of stillness, of listening to yourself and understanding yourself on a deeper level. You know, and in the Buddhist practices of Zen, the Zen practice in Buddhism or what have you, which is really, really heavily steeped in things such as meditation. It's all about developing that centeredness, your groundedness, your deep awareness, your intuition, And the more that you do it, the more that you do meditate, your intuition does become better. You become more clear. You become like a clear pond, and you get a lot of these metaphors get used quite a lot in Zen Buddhism. Thich Nhat Hanh, he used a lot of these sort of like strange metaphors, and which the majority of the time nobody really understands, and it's the same as things that Jesus used to talk about. Not many people really understood what he was on about either, but for everyone, these messages and these meanings come in their own form and come in their own understanding and perception of the individual, of your different layers that you're working through. Hey, Alex, welcome. So for me, I mean, the reason why I called like my business Reiki Zen, even though it's changed so much since the early days where it was just about Reiki and meditation. There's so much more that I do now, including things like personal training and what have you. But that as well, the Budo and like the martial aspect, the physical aspect, also existed within a Zen lifestyle. It was about discipline. And so discipline and authenticity as well are very, very powerful aspects of being Zen, and having authenticity in your life. And that's something that as well, that again in this post that I am putting out, like I say, tomorrow or Wednesday or whenever it is. It's at that point of the year where nobody knows what day it is or when it is or whatever. That week between Christmas and New Year. But yeah, that post that's going out, I did say in that as well that people are going to see a big change in my messages and my Facebook posts and social media posts, because they are going to be more authentic. And for a lot of people, they might hit a nerve. They might hit a few truths. They might reveal a little bit of a person's shadow for them to be aware of. But that is healing. That is also very, very healing. It may lose me some people along the way, but I think we need to be authentic. And that's a big aspect of Zen as well, of being Zen, is being authentic. So not just, and I think people, when they think about people that meditate and the authentic and the spiritual, that they kind of like, they just like float along on a breeze and this, that and the other, and nothing really worries them and nothing really bothers them. And on one side of the coin, that's very, very true, because you become very, very much more self-aware, and you understand that worrying about things and getting angry and creating situations and creating the energy within yourself isn't going to serve your highest purpose and your highest good. It's only going to push against what you're trying to work against, or what you're trying to work with. And again, that is a part of Zen life, of the Buddhist life as well, of being in that practice, is not to push against anything, to just go with the flow. However, also being authentic is also not taking shit as well, and being accountable and standing up for what you believe is right and what you believe is true. And the path that you believe is serving your highest purpose, and the path that you're following and the path that you're going down is the right one for you, because you're aware of it. You can feel it. There is a much deeper level of self-awareness and self-expression when you start to become more in tune with yourself through practices of meditation, mindfulness, and understanding yourself on a deeper energetic level, that then creates that Zen aspect within life. So Alex says there, and you must listen to yourself, especially when your inner self starts screaming. Hello, Ian and folks. Hello, Alex. So yeah, that is absolutely right. You must listen to yourself, especially when your inner self starts screaming. So that's the way things are written as well is very, very interesting. So when you listen to yourself, so it's yours and it's the self. So which part of it is actually you? So it's almost like there's a separation there between two elements, your self. So what is the self? It's yours, but what is it? What's the self? And also, when your inner self starts screaming, so there's yourself, but then there's also an inner self. Which one are we working with? Which one are we paying attention to? Which one are we listening to? That's the other aspect of living in a more Zen state, of understanding yourself on that deeper level and understanding what the voices are and where they're coming from. Are they coming from authenticity, truth, your soul, your heart? Or are they coming from ego, which is all mind-made? So, yeah, a very interesting comment there, Alex. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for being here, if you are still here. It's quite a quiet live this evening. Not many people about, and people keep popping in and popping out and what have you. Howard Styro says Zenith equals centered. Absolutely, yeah. So that is fundamentally, that's kind of like what I was trying to get towards. But I was trying to sort of break it down into ways that maybe you could understand. But yeah, Zenith equals being more centered. And when we're more centered, people talk about being heart-centered, and following the heart, and being open to be able to follow your heart rather than following the mind. That tends to be the centralized place that we're working from, is the heart space, and following that, and also maybe following your gut as well. So your whole body and your whole energy body, your physical body, your energy body, everything, it has an intelligence about it. And when you start to get a little bit deeper through your meditations and through your practice, you actually start to feel the messages and the signs, the feelings. You actually start to feel them within your energy, within your physical body. And that's when you start getting really, really deep into your energy and your body, really going a lot deeper with it. It's a little bit like, sometimes I use some techniques in hypnosis and hypnotherapy, in EFT. I know psychotherapists use it, and counselors, where they ask people to be aware of the energy in the body. What doesn't feel right? What do you feel shouldn't be there? And sitting with it and going into a nice deep meditation and becoming like kind of really deeply aware of where that is, and what does it feel like, what does it mean, what's the emotion that you're getting from it. And from that awareness, which is what we get when we're in meditation, we get the awareness, and the awareness, as I always say, is the healing aspect that's taking place. From the awareness, we're then able to heal and polarize that emotion. You'll feel it lift, you'll feel it change and transition and move into something else. So it's a really, really powerful technique. And we can do that in meditation alone. And that's why being Zen or following this aspect of Zen, and it doesn't mean that you have to live like a monk 24/7, but it's just instilling aspects of it within your everyday life, living more mindfully. So what do we mean by that? By living more mindfully. So Eckhart Tolle uses the term presence, or awareness, rather than mindful, because the word mindful means that your mind is full. So he tries not to use that term. So he uses the term presence. And it's the presence of maybe the energy, your spirit, the energy that is around you, but also the energy of what you're feeling around you from your external. And mindfulness is always about the external. It's about what is going on around you, that you can kind of like use your senses to connect to, and use that in a mindful way to bring calm and harmony, to then take you deeper. So you use mindfulness to take you deeper into your meditation. It's a really, really powerful technique. So it could be things like watching a candle flame, following your breath, which is the main thing that most people do when they're meditating, listening to a ticking clock, listening to maybe a drum beat, like in like a shamanic drum beat, where you're just following the beat and you're listening to the space in between, and that's taking you deeper and deeper. Maybe the pattern of words that's being used. It all has this sort of trance sort of effect to take you deeper. And as you go deeper within, you go deeper within. You become more quiet. The mind isn't thinking as much, and you become more aware of yourself. You become more aware of what you really are. You're disconnecting from the overthinking, the like, oh, well, I must get this later on, or we're having that for tea tonight, I'm doing that tomorrow, or that was shit what happened yesterday. So all of that stuff is kind of like, is slowly filtering away. It takes time, it takes practice, like anything, but eventually you start to get to that quieter point within, a really lovely, quiet, centered point where when you sit for long enough, you can just feel the actual true presence of yourself. Nothing external, just you. Just you in the room, eyes closed, following your breath, and just listening to you. Total peace, total silence. No thoughts, no concepts, no distractions of the mind. Just you in presence. You in the presence of your own energy. And it really, really is a beautiful, beautiful practice to just take you deeper and deeper. So mindfulness is a really, really great technique for that. And, so it's a lot like the Reiki principles that we use, the 5 Reiki principles that Mikao Usui brought forward within the practice, about letting go of anger and worry and being grateful, being compassionate and being and doing your work with diligence, or doing your work honestly or authentically, and all of those Reiki principles take us to this Zen aspect of life. Hey airheads, long time no see. It takes you to this Zen aspect because the more you can let go of the mind, of the distractions, of the commentary, of the dialogue, of all the negativity, the more you let go of that, the more you can then sit in gratitude. You can sit in your own energy. You can be more compassionate because you've let go of all the stuff that is creating tension within, that is affecting your energy. Once you start to let go of all of that, then wonderful things begin to happen. You become more aware internally, calmer, more present with yourself, more centered. As Howard Styro mentioned earlier. So it is a very quiet evening on here on the live, very quiet indeed. So I've kind of like said what I need to say. So that will go out into YouTube world when it gets uploaded. But if anyone's got any questions with regards to that, then feel free to ask away. If you're new here as well, please do subscribe to the channel. YouTube I'm finding extremely difficult at the minute to gain any traction on. My watch time and everything's just totally nosedived. So I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, it just seems very, very difficult to get anyone interested. Maybe I'm just boring, I don't know. It could be that. I'm really focused on taking inventory and do this every year this time. Yeah, I think you mentioned in one of your comments on my videos that that's something that you're really getting into at the minute, is taking inventory. And it's a really, really good time of the year. It really is, because as you come to the end of the year, you're taking stock of like, okay, so what was the year? What have I done? What have I achieved? What have I managed to get through? Did I have plans that I wanted to achieve? Did I get them all done? Did I not get them all done? If you didn't, don't worry. You can do them this next year, or you can make progress towards them like now. Why wait till next year? Why wait? It's like everything. Why wait till next year? Why wait till a new year? Why wait till a Monday? Say people that say, oh, well, I'll start the diet on the Monday. Well, why start the diet on the Monday? Why not just start now? All these like little things, a lot of people wait for what's the right time. But what is the right time? When is it going to be the right time? And, I speak to a lot of people and they want to discover, they want to be able to change, they want to change their mindset, they want to change the outlook, and they want to find a different way of doing things. But when you mention a process of how you can do it, of what has worked for me and many others in the past that I've worked with, when you mention that process to them, they're like, nah, I don't really think I can do that. Well, you've tried it once. Keep at it. You need to do it. It's like anything in life. If you want to improve, if you want to get better at it, you've got to keep doing it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a quick fix. It takes practice. It takes time. It's like anything that we want to do, anything at all. If you want to learn to play an instrument, if you want to be able to run, and you have to build up your fitness. If you want to be able to lift weights, you have to gradually increase the weight and build up your strength that way. If you want to learn to meditate, you start off small and you build up in time. So everything takes time. Everything is a process. It's not going to happen like that. But unfortunately, a lot of the world is currently geared to give that. AI is a prime example. People don't want to maybe pay somebody to create a piece of art from their soul. That's what you're paying for. When you're creating something from the heart, from your soul, it's coming with love. It's coming from an aspect of the person. Oh no, I won't bother doing that. I'll just go and get it on AI. I'll type into AI to do this, to create this picture that I really, really want, and then I'll just pick one from that and I'll just print it out. How heartless, how soulless is that? There's no soul gone into it. It's just, and that's the trouble. People are being pulled away from connecting to this, to just connecting to the shite that's out there. It's a really, really strange world. It really sets you up in a more positive headspace going into your new year, and helps you reflect on the things you need to be grateful for in the past. It certainly does, yeah. And it's really lovely to hear that that there is people that still do that. There is a lot of people, I think, just go from day to day, year to year, and don't have any kind of inclination for self-improvement, development, anything like that. They just seem to just like, it's just another day, another year. No, but we've all got to have like a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, what's the point? If you don't have a meaning, if you don't give yourself meaning, what's the point? You've got to create that from yourself. Instant gratification has become poisonous in this day and age. Absolutely right there. Yeah. I mean, obviously, as many of you know, I've gone back into employment, gone back to work, and you see people just buying like shit, like crap, and you just think, well, you'll be bored of it in like a couple of days. You won't be bothered with it. Why are you bothering with it? It's just shit. Put it back. Buy something where you get something, if you need to, where you're going to actually access an aspect of you, an aspect of your soul, an aspect of your heart, an aspect of your own energy, and put that into something more powerful. Become more present with that. Become more. It becomes more meaningful. It has more meaning for you because then you've created it. You've done it. You've put your energy into that. But yeah, it's just become a world of just obsession, consumerism, and people just getting quite like selfish, and a lot of people just quite just not very pleasant, very what's the word? Very not very at ease with themselves. It's just, yeah. mean, there's a lot of people that are very pleasant and are very much at ease and are very nice to talk to, but there's a lot of people that you come across and you think, my God, what is their problem? You know, what's happened to them? Why are they doing that? Why are they reacting that in such a way? You know, and I do that when I'm working. I always watch, or people watch, and I'm trying to kind of like psychoanalyze people, or you know, maybe I'll try and just like tune into them a little bit and see what's going on with them, and then you think, wow. And a lot of people are very, very, a lot of arrogance and a lot of self-centeredness and not a lot of care and compassion. There's a lot of that is missing within people, and you know, that comes from where I feel it comes from being, a lot of it is the upbringing, and it's something that you instill within your children, and then as they grow up, they instill it in their children, and it becomes. This is a little bit like. What's the word again? My mind's gone blank. What is it? What's the term? Ancestral healing. It's a little bit like ancestral healing. So if you think of ancestral healing, so if you think of where you are now individually as a person, and maybe your parents went through something very traumatic, or there was a breakup, divorce, you know, and that affects you. So that has an imprint on you, and that creates it might create something within you that's this feeling of sabotage, self-sabotage, abandonment. It may create all these different issues within you. Then you have a child, and they start carrying some of that energy as well. And this is how ancestral healing works. So if you think of quite a few years ago, I did a not emotional freedom. Was it emotional EFT? No, not emotional freedom technique. It was my brain's not working. It was a few years ago, and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't EFT, but it was something very, very similar. And yeah, they go back about 20 years into your energy. And basically what the practitioner does is they use their own body as kind of like a pendulum. So a lot of practitioners will do this, and they'll say, give me a yes, and then the fingers will come apart, or give me a no, and the fingers will be locked. And that's kind of like how they get the yes and no answers. Generational trauma is another term that's used as well. So ancestral healing, generational trauma, it's all kind of like the same sort of thing. But we all carry this. So this session of whatever it was, I can't remember the name of, it went back 20 generations. And there was all these different things that were coming up. There was like horror, there was this, there was that. And then there was some stuff that was in this lifetime that I kind of remembered and resonated with. Some stuff I remembered, some stuff I didn't, some stuff I needed more clarification on to understand. But it went back all that time. And when you think, all that time, all that energy, we're holding on to this stuff. So like for some of my stuff that was being healed, there was horror, there was it tends to be like negative stuff, you know, I don't know, horror, guilt, shame. There was all this sort of stuff that was built up, that was in my energy field, and I'm too busy trying to think of the name of what it is. It's not emotional freedom technique. It's I'll come off this live and I'll remember what it is. Yeah, but anyway, so you're harmonizing, you're healing all these past generational wounds and ancestral traumas and what have you, and then like through it you think, well, what's this actually doing? Like I don't know. You don't really feel anything. You don't feel anything happening. You don't feel anything change. But then a week or two later, after the sessions, you're like, oh, actually, you know that things have been coming up, and I'm actually feeling lighter. I'm actually feeling more at ease with this. I'm actually feeling better for this. I'm still trying to think. I'm still trying to think of the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's there, and I'm just. Oh, and I've spoke to lots of people about it over the years. Yeah, and I can't remember it. But yeah, when you think about it, all that stuff is being kind of like held within your energy, and then then you uh, my words aren't working today. I'm not tired. My words just are not working at all. Um, yeah, and then you have kids, then they're holding on to some of that, and it becomes ingrained into their psyche and into their behavior because of how you're behaving, and it goes on and on and on. So it's not until you get to a point where you awaken, or you become more spiritually aware, you become more energetically aware, and you start to work on that. And the wonderful thing that starts to happen then when you start to work on yourself and you work on your own healing and your own energy is that starts to automatically start to heal all the generational wounds, all the generational trauma. It does a lot of the ancestral healing because your energy, your lifetime, your lifeline is not linear. So the healing work that you're doing now is affecting your past, it's affecting your future, it's affecting the outlook, it's affecting what's coming up, and it's a little bit like when you take an inventory at the end of the year. You're doing a lot of remembering, you're doing a lot of letting go, you're doing a lot of releasing from the year, and having a positive outlook into the future, which is then going to bring more positive energy in, and that is key. It really is key. And that again is authenticity. It's about being authentic and actually doing the work, doing the doings, and getting on with it. No, it's not regression therapy, airheads. No, it's not that. It is something. I'm going to have to get my laptop out. Hang on. It's something totally different. Let me just have a bit of a jiggle around on here because I've got stuff everywhere. Hello from Romania. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just have a look on here. Let's have a look, see if that comes up with anything. No. I'm sorry for doing this, but I need, you know, and you need to find something just to put your mind at ease. I just need to put my mind at ease. Emotional code. That's it. The emotional code therapy. That's what it is. There we go. My mind is at ease now. Emotional code therapy. Yeah, so the practitioner, what they have is, they'll have two columns. They'll have column A and column B. And down column A, they'll have a list of like emotions, and down column B, they'll have a list of other things as well. And basically, they're asking the questions, yes or no answers. They'll get the sign from their physical response, and then they can move on with the questions that way. So emotional code therapy, that's what it is. So phew, I'm glad we got there. Glad we got there in the end. So who's still here with us? The new one in the room currently. It's been a very quiet night tonight. Not a lot of people about. And I'm wondering how I can get more just get more people into the channel. Hey ho. I don't know. I try all sorts. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep ticking along and just doing whatever. So just see what happens. So yeah, it's very, very quiet tonight. There's not a lot of people popping in. There's not a lot of chat going on. I've said what I need to say, so I'm not going to go any further, I don't think. I think I shall head off. But thank you for being here. Whoever has been here, thank you to Airheads and the few comments that we've had today. And I will see you all again soon. If I'm not on before, have a wonderful new year. We'll see you on the other side. Toodaloo for now. Much love. Bye-bye.